a team that got a chance to be in the playoffs and get the World Series. Is that
you
somebody
you would
I
shy
would shy away
okay.
from? Because I mean, here's a guy. If it comes to make a big play, or get a big hit, you don't know, or try to steal a base when you're third base when you shouldn't. I would be afraid to do that.
So while we're on the trade deadline, of course, the new rule this year is that there used to be two rules. There was the non-waiver trade deadline of July 31st and the waiver deadline of August 31st. What was the reason, as you understood it, Ross, that they went to this? Because it seemed like it was like everybody said, yeah, that's a great idea to cut to the one trade deadline, July 31st. But now if you're a general manager right now, are you happy with the new rule? Because you're Brian Cashman and your team's played great for 100 games, 110 games, and now you get an injury August the 3rd. And you go, geez, if we had known, now what do I do?
Yeah, no, you kind of scratch your head going, wait a minute, I don't know. But now you're going to really scour the waiver wires and look for maybe that young guy that can help out. But why they changed that, I don't. Why they're doing a lot of stuff, and some of the stuff they're bringing up to the different rules, you just kind of scratch your head. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So I'm not really.
Do you think most GMs experiencing it this year are happy that that's the rule, or
probably not?
They want as much time as possible to figure out whether they should be buyers or sellers. Frankly,
yeah, I think, and what you can get.
Right.
So that's the whole thing. So I think it would it kind of puts them in a little bit of a hole here, but you got to be really, and again, you got to trust the people out there that you see. It really becomes the scouts. I mean, they're really pounding the bushes trying to find people and stuff.
Let's remind everybody you're listening to the Ross Grimsley Show, and it's going on live in the Live Casino Hotel Studios. We'll be back with more of the program right after this timeout.
Baltimore's favorite bar is just 771 feet from home plate at Camden Yards. Sliders Bar and Grill is at 504 Washington Boulevard, just steps away from Camden Yards. It's the perfect sports bar for every season. This is the perfect time to book your private party or take the office to lunch. Feeding clients? Take them to Baltimore's neighborhood sports bar, Sliders, for great food and drinks with some local atmosphere. You can book your private event on the second floor or on the outside patio, both overlooking the best stadium in baseball. See all of Sliders' daily specials or book your party at slidersbaltimore.com. Sliders, Baltimore's neighborhood sports bar. Visit them today.
This is the old left-hander Ross Grimsley. I've always known a little something about special pitchers, but today I'm pitching to you about a very special restaurant, the Costa's Inn. Located at 4100 North Point Boulevard, the Costa's Inn is known far and wide for their great steamed crabs and crab cakes. But get a load of the nightly specials. Monday night is rib night. Tuesday night, crab cake night. Wednesday night, steak night. Lobster nights on Thursday. Friday, Pete and Nick offer a variety of special dinners. Take it from me, Ross Grimsley, I know special, and the Costa's Inn is one hell of a special place.
The Ross Grimsley Show is sponsored by Jerry's Tire, located in Baltimore City, just steps away from Little Italy and historic Jonestown. Jerry's not only sells all the major brand tires like Bridgestone, Michelin, and Continental, but is your go-to shop for everything from oil changes to factory scheduled maintenance. All repairs are backed by a nationwide warranty. The team over at Jerry's has been serving the Baltimore area for over 62 years and are eager to earn your business. Give them a call at 410-685-4330 or visit them online at jerrystires.com to shop for tires and schedule an appointment. That's Jerry's, GERRYS, tires.com.
Welcome back to the Ross Grimsley Show.
Absolutely. My show is brought to you by Mobil One Synthetic Oil. It keeps your engine running like new. Synthetic motor oils. Trusted protection, the Mobil Advantage. Well, our guest today, now we're going to talk a little bit about minor league baseball. I showed you my first contract.
Who'd you get, the commissioner of the Atlantic League?
It's better than that.
Yeah.
Now this is somebody that's been through
the ringer.
31 years in the minor leagues. Couple months before she was around Major League Baseball for 13 years or so. Anyway, I got Miss Byrd, my wife, who has been through the ringer. She knows all about this. Blondie, thanks for being here with us.
Good morning, gentlemen. You're all very welcome. I'm glad to be here sharing with you. What's up?
How you doing, Byrd?
I'm doing good, guys. It's a lovely day in Baltimore.
I know you didn't want to do this, but I was telling the guys about the minor leagues and anybody that can share what goes on with the wives and the families, the travel. You've driven across country 4, 5, 6 times to Calgary, Alberta, and back in a Ford Ranger truck. 2 kids, a dog, a cat, a chinchilla, a rabbit, and it's been to Arizona several times in the truck. The truck had about 250,000 miles.
Is that all? Wow.
We passed it down to my son, Patrick. We passed it down to my daughter, Natalie. So everybody had a piece of this truck. But anyway, we wanted to get your basically your impressions as a wife, mother of a ball player, what you guys go through.
Oh, wow. You guys, we don't have time, I don't think, but let's see what we can do here. I think basically you hear all the time about the big leaguers and how much money they make and how spoiled they all are. I don't think anybody talks enough about how they got there and the sacrifices that them and their families have had to go through. Not only not having money, they are way, way underpaid, and so were we. But we made do. We had to count on each other, the wives did, for the families, because we were always someplace that we didn't have family. It just so happens that Ross played and coached, and I never had family with me, so what I did was take these little ones under my wing and show them how to get by, and just kind of hope that I could relieve a little bit of the pressure and the loneliness that they have, and also the trouble just trying to make do, guys, because these gentlemen, some of them don't make. I mean, we had people on our teams that were making $1,000 a month, and that was nothing when you're moving a family and trying to keep insurance and everything going. So what we did was we buckled together, all of us did, and we got by, and it turned out to be really a wonderful thing. Seriously, I have absolutely no regrets.
Is there a comparison, Byrd, to almost like a military family? I mean, the sacrifice is different. You're sacrificing for the career, not for country. But is it, you go to different outposts every year and you're not quite sure where the family is?
Yes, very, very similar. Actually, I thought one time someone asked me to write a book, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. But then I said, I may write a book about how to get along in the military and the baseball when you have to move and set up new homes and find new doctors and dentists and everything for your children. So, yes, it is definitely a good comparison.
Lottie, setting up a house. Now, tell us, tell the people what you did, what we did, mostly you, to set up a home in another city in Burlington, Iowa, or Chattanooga, Tennessee, or Augusta, Georgia. Some of these smaller towns we went to. How did we go about doing that?
Well, I'll tell you what the good way to do it, and I learned very early because we didn't have any money, was you go to the real rich neighborhoods, guys, and you go to their garage sales. And you get your blow-up beds, you get your use this, use that, and you'd be surprised. I actually could furnish a 3-bedroom townhome for under $600, guys.
Wow.
I did it one summer up in Calgary, Canada. But once again, you got to know where to go to the garage sales. That's the trick. You got to go to the rich neighborhoods where they got all the goodies.
Now, here's an interesting question. Most of the places that Ross pitched in as a minor leaguer, they were probably inexpensive places to live. I know, talking to Dave Johnson, I said, boy, that must have been something when you pitched in Hawaii. He goes, my wife absolutely hated it because the cost of living in Hawaii was so high, and they didn't make adjustments for players.
No.
Oh, no. That doesn't come into play, Hein, wherever you go.
Yeah.
When you think about us up in Canada, in Calgary, there was no, with the exchange of money or whatnot. But, once again, I don't keep repeating myself, but it really is the group that you're with. You can make do. You can help each other with babysitting. You can help each other with whatever you need. But if you've got a good group of women, and actually I've been very fortunate, I have, and they can make do. You can help each other out, and you can make do. But you are right. The baseball or whatever does not count. They don't even consider that you're living in, one of the most expensive places in the United States compared to where you just left, your hometown in a little town like Rushville, Indiana, where you could still get a hamburger and a hot dog for, $1.25.
I mean,
So
Ross showed us his first contract today, which was for $500 a month, and that was 50 years ago.
50 years.
And the money today is probably only, 25% higher than that?
It's like 800
now.
for a first year.
It's so unfair,
it's awful.
guys.
And we had.
I know he was making $500. I was making a month. He was living with me and two of my roommates.
That's when I was
just
making $800 though.
Oh no, you weren't. You were making $514 a month. I know exactly how much you were making.
Oh, well, hey,
But we made do.
Oh, absolutely.
That was the fun part about it.
Honey,
You just make do.
you went from being in the big leagues, during I met you in 1971. I got called up right after I met her. She had a premonition. I don't know how. She knew nothing about baseball.
Right.
You didn't know I got paid.
I didn't know. I kept saying, boy, I like this guy, and man, he's really good looking. I wish he had a job.
He don't have a job. But you went from that, and then we were in the big leagues up until 1982. Then you went, the next year, we went into minor league ball. How did that affect you? Because I know we stayed.
Was the salary structure different? I mean, were you at least making $30,000 or something in the minor leagues?
No, the first 2 years I coached, I was still on a big league contract.
Okay,
that went away after 2 years, and I think I was making $18,000 as a coach.
No, the first contract you had as coaching, honey, you were making $12,000.
12. Well, okay,
$12,000 when you coached in '83.
Yeah. Right, and then, went on. But my question to you, we stayed in some dives with the kids.
Yeah.
We told the kids, jump from bed to bed, don't touch the carpet. But that was something.
That nasty green carpet.
Oh, gosh,
all the
yeah. But my question to you.
I wouldn't let my kids get their feet on, so they have to jump from one bed to the other.
It hasn't changed that much. I was just in a hotel down in Durham last week, and my wife said, put socks on.
Rubber boots.
Yeah.
But
and that wasn't the bad part. The real bad part was when the truckers would come in and stay on about an hour and then leave.
Hey, we're talking with Byrd Grimsley, the wife of Ross Grimsley, about life in the minor leagues, and we're the Ross Grimsley Show, and we're in the Live Casino Hotel Studios. Ross?
Yeah, but Bert, tell us. The jump from being in the major leagues, then going to the minor leagues.
Guys.
What did you think?
Well, what I thought was, and actually, I need to give a lot of credit to some of the big leagues' wives that mentored me, and Puka Torres and Carolyn Rose, Pete's first wife, Joe Morgan, all those women. They took Kathy Gullickson and I under their wings when we first started with the Reds, and they taught me a great deal. And I took all of that I learned, and that's when I started, helping the young families and the young wives, and it kept me very busy. But boy, yes, it was definitely a big change, and I can't say it was humbling because it was just such a wonderful time. It's really good when you're with a group of people that need each other. You have to babysit for each, or you need to babysit for each other. You need to, you have to drive everywhere. There's no flying. So the wives would, go in like a little road trip or pack things up and put your kids in the vans, and everybody would go together so we know no booger man would get us on the way. And so I taught them a lot that I had learned. And for the 31 years in minor leagues, we did all kinds of fun things. We did, to make money for charities in the neighborhood and keep them busy so they're not so worried about their husband's career. We did a lot of, books and fashion shows and kept everybody well going. So I had a good time in the majors. There was no question about that. I think until we finally left, I didn't realize how good we had it and what a big deal it was. But you coaching in the minor leagues, Ross, was really, really, really a wonderful time for all of us. The children loved it. I loved it. We got to know families that we still know today, and they have kids that are mostly, some of them even call me Grandma Byrd. So, it really has. It was a really good life. It was tough. No, I'm not going to kid you. We didn't have no money, and we had each other, though, so that's pretty much what all you need.
Byrd, you gave us some good insights, though, because it sounds like there's a lot of bonding with the other wives and the other kids in a baseball family.
Well, I'll tell you what, that what makes a team. That is part of the formula of the team. You're not going to win if you don't have a lot of bonding. And that old thing about happy wives is very true in this game, because they don't have anybody. You don't have your family around. You don't have friends around that you can rely on and talk to that can help you. So it's a lot of bonding, and it's pretty much like either you survive or you don't.
Well, when we were coaching with the Giants, we stayed at the Holiday Inn in spring training, and just briefly, you know where I'm going with this. We set up Byrd's Bistro.
Oh yes.
And we had an ironing board as a table, but it was a nice.
Hey, wait a minute! It wasn't my table. That was my cabinet.
Oh, okay, all right.
Let's get this straight.
But tell a little bit. I mean, that was a bonding
That's where
thing
I storage my food and stuff.
That was a time to get together for the coaches, and sometimes the players would stop by. We would get home from working out or the games, and they would have everything. We had grills set up, and all the coaches, some of the players would stop by. But Byrd's Bistro, and that was something that really was a thing to keep the guys together.
I tell you, I still think today the Giants need to pay me some money, because that was it was like going to your therapist to go to Byrd's Bistro. Those guys that stay out there, complain and talk and think they solve all the problems, and they drank. Of course,
we had to get up at 4 a.m.
I know you didn't drink very much though, because you guys were up and at it before the sun came up. But yeah, that bistro lasted about 12 years or something like that. Every spring training they would.
All the stuff we would
even
pack.
had an open and close sign.
Yes, right. Blondie, thanks so much for being with us. I know you didn't want to do this, but I thought it was important. You could share some great
did a great job, Byrd.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you later.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad I can help out. You guys just keep on doing what you're doing, because you're sure good to listen to. And have a good day, everybody.
But one last question: when's Byrd's Bistro opening tonight?
I don't know. I've got to go find the good places to get the cheap wine.
All right.
See you in a little bit.
All right, honey.
All
right. Hey, speaking of the minor leagues, and she did a great job. She really did a great job painting the picture.
Oh, yeah, and it's the big thing, I think, at the minor league level, even at the big league level, and you don't see it as much now, is the people staying together. I mean, when we were in the big leagues, we would stay after the game, shoot the bull, talk about the game, and that's where you learned a lot about, especially as a young player, and they kind of demanded you stick around. Now, when I was in Calgary with Seattle, we had Edgar Martinez,
yeah.
Tino, when we had some really big name guys, and they'd stay in the clubhouse till 3 or 4 in the morning. Obviously, beer was involved, but you're sitting there and just shooting a bull about the game. That's not done like that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's a bonding thing, because at the minor league level, it's really neat to see guys move together, and hopefully that will happen here, because you move as a group. The Dodgers used to do it. The Giants did it. All your successful, the Yankees did it. You move as a unit, and it's really important. It keeps that togetherness, because you don't see it. I mean, we're still close now with guys here with the Orioles when I played.
Yeah.
Singleton, Bunbury, Flanny was here.
Palmer,
McGregor, Brooksy, Ron Hansen, McGregor, Tippy. We can name. They all stuck together, but we were a close group.
Before we get out of here today, though, we wanted to talk about one thing about the minor leagues, which is sort of it's kind of fascinating, because it's like a working laboratory. The Atlantic League, is in cahoots, so to speak. They've worked out a development deal with Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball put TrackMan devices in all their ballparks.
Right.
And now that they're going to experiment with rules, and why don't we go over a couple of those rules?
That's some of the things that, and you kind of scratch your head, but the stealing first base.
Yeah.
Now, this is a thing where the ball is delivered by the pitcher. The catcher don't get a glove on it. The hitter has an option to run or not.
Right.
If he makes it to first base, he's safe. It happened the other night for the first time in the history of baseball.
Professional baseball.
A Blue Crabs kid down in wherever they're at here in the area, and he made it to first base. First time ever. So, I mean, you kind of
Do you like the rule?
Heavens, no. It's no.
Okay.
The
So
silly
we
thing
got
is
to
that
know on that.
Currently, the stat, it hurts the batter taking first. It counts as a fielder's choice in 0
It's
for 1.
and that's yeah.
So it hurts their batting average and on-base percentage.
But
for that to
I
do that.
will say this: all of these rules, who does it benefit, and who does it hurt? It hurts the pitcher. In all of these rules, the next one is the automatic ball strike,
yeah.
and that's something that I think
It's coming.
Absolutely, and there has to be some modifications made in it, and it's going to. I believe it's going to drag the games out because the pitchers don't have the command that you wish they used to have. They don't have it now, so it could drag the games out considerably.
See, I'm in a total disagreement with you. I think you take that arguing, the griping, and the banter back and forth. I think the electronic umpire moves the game along because nobody's going to argue with the eye.
Well, I mean, it will, but again, you got to have the personnel to throw the ball over the plate.
Yeah.
And that's not the case now. I mean, you see, it's a power game. Throw as hard as you can. You try to throw as hard as you can. You're not going to hit your spots. You're going to have. I mean,
I think when pitchers, though, Ross, and I don't like to disagree with you, but I think when pitchers know night in and night out what's a strike and what's a ball, you may see the command change a little bit.
Well, it'll realign the
That's the
expectations,
thing
right?
that has to. And talking to people in the game, scouts, managers, I really think this thing's going to go full circle. It has to.
Yeah.
It can't keep going the way it's going. Number one, you're going to have a lot of injuries, which we're seeing more and more of. And the bullpens are starting. I mean, the ERAs for the bullpen is higher for the second time in 69 years than the starters. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's starting to take its toll on guys. So we're going to see possibly that change. The other one is the two-strike bunt. You foul it off.
You get a second chance.
You're out.
Right,
now you
right
get a
now
second chance.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Well,
And is it just one more chance?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are your feelings on that? Are there players who you played against who, if they were allowed to bunt and keep fouling it off, would be able to just
But this
bunt
rule is
forever?
only one more chance.
Correct.
Yeah,
right?
correct. One more.
But the
But-
discussion is about one of the arguments against it is that if you were to let a foul ball be the same off of a bunt as they are just a swing,
Right.
then in theory somebody could just wear a pitcher out and keep bunting, keep fouling a pitch
Yeah.
away.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think there are players good enough in today's game to consistently
You don't bunt.
foul off
They don't bunt.
Yeah, they don't know.
They
how to
don't bunt now. Who's the people that do most of the bunting
pitchers?
in the National League?
Yeah.
They're the ones that are going to do this. So I don't see the purpose really in that.
Encouraging more bunts, realistically.
Well, personally, I wish the game would get back to where you hit and run, you steal bases, you move runners, you do
That's sort of what they're
baseball stuff.
trying to do with
I
these
hope.
rule changes, right? Like putting guys on first base
Well-
with that stolen first base, right? Is an effort
Well,
to negate the strikeout home run only.
Well, that's.
thing
I mean,
and get runners
you
and
can
try
take
and
care
spark
of that
rallies.
if you did some other things, but that's a rule. That
What
I don't
about the more liberal check swing, which
And that's another thing. I mean, again, calling the higher strikes.
Yeah.
You're gonna make the strike zone huge. I mean, okay, but the liberal. I mean, a swing's a swing, and it's the human element. I mean, if you want to get the video and watch it, most guys that are called on swings are swings.
So there's a lot of. I don't personally I love baseball. I played it all my
Yeah.
life. I don't know if it's when you're breaking your wrists, right? I still don't know whether it's a batter breaking his wrists on a swing, like the bat head could still be behind, but if his wrists are going, then
Yeah.
it's a strike. Or
Well,
if it's the bat head going in front of the plate, like there's still
That's
some
a strike
ambiguity,
to me.
right?
Yeah.
That's a
that's-
strike
that's
to me. I
what's
mean,
a strike to
you're
me.
not going to be able to hit the ball if your wrist go and the ball
Right,
goes
right.
back. And I've only seen a few players that Rose, Carew guys could foul the ball off when they want to.
Right.
Hey, before we get out of here today, I had to ask you a question. We didn't discuss it beforehand, but it's interesting the baseball gods, what they deliver. Tyler Skaggs night where they
geez.
honored him. His mother throws out the first pitch. I guess it's too emotional right now for his wife to be there.
Sure.
Or maybe she was there. She just okay. But the mom threw out the first pitch. All the Angels wore number 45, and then they collectively threw a no-hitter.
And they scored 7 runs in the first inning.
Right.
They won 13-0.
Right.
Skaggs' birthday was 7/13.
7/13.
Which is the last time a combined no-hitter was thrown in California was his birthday.
Right.
The day that he
Yeah,
was
that's
born.
right.
So
That's right.
How I mean that
It's
is
just amazing.
bizarre.
Bizarre.
It's amazing how things work out. But they put the jerseys around the mound after the game. I mean, it was to lose.
Very
I mean,
touching. Very touching.
And a lot of this, and I'm sure you've lost. Both you guys have probably lost somebody close, and it really. Unless they were sick, but somebody that you lose quickly for no reason. I mean, just out of the blue. It's so shocking that it don't really set in. So I know I lost my dad in 1994 after heart surgery, a month or so, but it was a shock because he was fine. I get a call in the middle of the night that he passed.
Yeah.
So we go down, and I took care of. Me and Byrd, we took care of the funeral for my mom, and it didn't
hit you.
It didn't because I was so busy trying to do stuff.
Right.
And it didn't hit till afterwards. I never was able to grieve until later.
Yeah.
So this is hitting these guys that are close to them. This is not going to set in for a while.
Well, they were lucky to have the All-Star break for what
Oh,
it was.
yeah, no.
Because
Then again, I mean, for maybe some, but other guys want to
Want
keep
to
going
playing
and get
keep the
this
distraction.
Yeah, because when it'll hit you. I know when Munson got killed, and I was, we played against each other and stuff, and it was a shock, and it
reverberates throughout the game.
Gary Carter dies.
Yeah.
That was, Paul Blair. I'd played golf a couple weeks before Paul Blair died. Flanny, who I was very close with, takes his life. I mean, it just doesn't. It hits you, and thank goodness you got some. It was during the season. I was in Altoona. I'll never forget it. I was on the bus. I called Kathy, his first wife. Is this true? Yes. And then went on and all the stuff. I mean, it doesn't hit you right then. But it's a
amazing story. Though,
amazing
about the no-hitter. All right.
Well, let's talk about something good.
Okay.
One thing, sliders.
Yeah.
Sliders. I mean, I was there the other night. We had a
did
great
that
time.
show. I was down in
a,
Durham.
It was
missed
a blast.
It,
I mean, Baltimore's favorite bar, 771 feet from home plate. Sliders Bar and Grill, just steps from Camden Yards. Perfect sports bar for baseball and all other sports and all the big events on dozens of TVs. Daily specials include Mexican Monday. I had the
tacos.
Wing Ding Wednesday, Bloody Brunch Sunday.
I
and
thought
more.
Your thing was on Tuesday, though. Was it Monday or Tuesday?
It was Monday.
It was Monday. That's right. It was Monday. Home run derby.
Anyway, I'm going to get them
All
anyway
right.
and try them. But different drink specials every day of the week. You can book your private parties. Went upstairs. They had some kids up there. I give them the World Series ring. 2014, they went ballistic. The parents loved it. But
and how did people like the Fancy Clancy Pilsner?
Fancy Clancy beer. Fancy Clancy was there.
Yep.
I mean, it's Sliders Baltimore's neighborhood sports bar. Come see them, sliders.com. Be sure to visit Sliders today and every day you can. A lot of fun. The guys, everybody was super down there. We had a good showing. But Sliders, not far from the park. You have a couple cocktails before and after the game.
771 feet away.
They did that said they did it with a laser before, whatever.
All right.
Sliders, great space.
All right.
All right, guys.
That's going to wrap us up for this week, right?
Cool, man.
We'll see you next week.
Great.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Real cool.